I just want to talk a little bit about atheism and pantheism. And sorry for the arty video effects on here. I've put it on here and I can't remember how to take it off. Never mind. And it's partly in response to DonQ's comments on a video I put up yesterday. The video, I can't remember what it was called now, but I'll put it in the info box, involved a football floating down a canal. But Don, you've responded to a completely different video on my Blip TV channel. I wish you'd post comments where they belong. But never mind, you know, the comment that you make, Don, there was to do with pantheism, which football, as far as I'm aware, I've got nothing to do with, never mind. And how I've misrepresented you again, and how my understanding of pantheism is so shoddy and so crap that I shouldn't be allowed out on my own or something. I've got to say, Don, you are incredibly patronising in your comments. You know, from the very first video response you made to me ages ago, I made a video called "What Would Make It Worth It," and your video response to that was incredibly patronising. I don't know if you may not. I'm sure you're a really nice guy, Don. You know, all the evidence to me points that you're a really nice, caring guy. And I've watched one or two of your videos, not many. Watched one or two of them, and you've got a really nice voice. You know, you sing really nicely. But you're coming across as a real know-it-all in terms of my videos. You know, I don't mind you having a difference of opinion. Of course, I would hope that many people would have. And I'd love to have a proper conversation with you. But at the moment, you know, you're acting as if you have the secrets, and you keep saying things like, there is none so blind as he who will not see, or, you know, just basically indicating that you just, I don't know, being patient until the light dawns on me and I see things your way. If you want me to see things your way, Don, I'm happy to give it a go, but the onus is on you to convince me. That's it, you know what I mean? At the moment, nothing you're saying is convincing me. You're just acting as if I'm a little bit stupid. Which may be correct, but you've got to convince me of that. Okay. Pantheism and atheism. Now, you describe yourself as a scientific pantheist, and I know very little. I've read a bit. I don't know nothing about pantheism. But I wouldn't, as I've said before in other videos, claim to be any kind of an expert. But you claim to be a scientific atheist. I beg your pardon, scientific pantheist, and you also say in one of the comments that you're an atheist. Now, I know Richard Dawkins refers to pantheism as sexed up atheism, but he's using that quite disparagingly, and I don't think that's what you mean when you say you're an atheist and a pantheist. In fact, I don't honestly know what it means. You know, I can't get to the bottom of this in my own thinking. I've done a little bit of research around it. To me, it feels incoherent. Atheist means no God, disbelief in God, denial of God, active or passive, positive or negative, strong or weak. Pantheist means either everything is God, God is supervenient upon nature, or is coterminous with the same, you know, it's that kind of a thing. Yeah, I know there's some variants on that, and I don't want to confuse it with panentheism, and I do understand the distinction. But there's to me it seems incoherent. If you're saying that, if you're saying you're an atheist, you're saying there is no God, and if you're saying you're a pantheist, you're saying that there is. So it's just, am I being stupid? I mean, the only way I can resolve it for myself is if it's actually different. If the theist bit of it is understood completely differently in each of those terms. I mean, are you saying that as an atheist, you are a disbelief in every God, everybody else's God, every other definition of God, except the definition that features in your version of pantheism, which I'm guessing, since you say scientific pantheism, is something like Einstein's, maybe Spinoza's, maybe Stephen Hawking, kind of. Is it that? If it's that, fine. You know, which is kind of science with a bit of reverence attached to it. It doesn't make any sense. If you're going to, are you changing the nature of the word theist halfway through the sentence? Is that what's happening there? It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, I think it's really interesting that Dawkins has this phrase "sexed up atheism" as pantheism, because I do think there's something interesting there to be dragged out. I don't think pantheism is a useful way to go with it, but if somebody wants to, that's fine. But you know, atheism. And I am an atheist and proud of it. Atheism, when it's underdeveloped, can render the world slightly sterile. Not really, but in feeling, because we have the kind of feeling relationships that we adopt towards the natural world. Our large debates on our conceptions of what a world is, what a self is, what our relationships are, all those kinds of things, and certainly some more kind of naive realist versions of atheism that I've occasionally come across, or the atheism as characterized by religious believers, can render the world a little bit sterile feeling. And if that's your feeling, and if you want to do a PR exercise on it, what you might want to do is inject a bit of sensuality into it, inject some feeling into it. And since one of the most vivid and engrossing feelings we have is sexual feelings, sexing it up is a good way of looking at it. In the same way that the government dossier on Iraq, I don't know if you're familiar with UK politics, but there was a dossier produced just prior to the Iraq invasion. When the war in Iraq started and the UK joined in, there was a dossier produced which was an analysis of the political situation in Iraq, which it turned out, there was an inquiry about it, and it turned out the inquiry that whilst there was no outright lies in this dossier on which the invasion of Iraq had been based, the details had been sexed up, as they put it. They were stimulated, they were made to sound a bit more urgent, they were giving a kind of feeling tone. The raw data was given a felt component to make it appeal to certain kinds of political opinion and public opinion, so that the politicians could do what they wanted to do. And I think that's what Dawkins' talking about when he describes pantheism as sexed up atheism. But it's a pejorative term, you know what I mean? I think Dawkins is recognising, I don't know, you probably don't like Dawkins, and it doesn't really matter whether a person likes him or not, but I think what that draws out is the fact that some people, you may not be one of these people, Don, some people who say they're pantheists are not thinking through what that means. What they are saying is that they want the world that science presents, but they don't want the sterility and the distance and the depersonalization that naive atheism plasters onto that world. So to give it another feeling tone, you give it the kind of sexed up theology component, or you borrow some sexed up felt reverence from theology and slap that on top. That may not be what you mean, but that's kind of what I'm seeing happening there. And as I say, to be an atheist pantheist, I think is oxymoronic. I don't think it makes any sense at all. I think pantheism is something quite specific, actually, and I think I would welcome a conversation with a pantheist who is out and proud. In the same way that I find sophisticated theologians, as they call themselves, sometimes a little irritating, because a sophisticated theologian can talk about theology in a way that is so vapid and so qualified that it doesn't contain any of the theology on which it was actually built. And the same thing is sometimes true, I think, or a variant of that is true of some pantheism, that it's qualified so much and argued so. I don't know what I'm talking about here. Never mind. I guess I'd just like a conversation more about pantheism from someone like yourself, perhaps, who can actually argue it. Can you argue pantheism? I'm saying to you that there is no such thing as atheist pantheism, Don, and I've given some vague reasons to that. If you want to come back at me and tell me why you think I'm wrong, not just tell me I'm wrong. Don't just tell me I'm wrong and tell me that you hope I'll be right one day. Don't just tell me I'm wrong and that you hope that I will feel as you do one day. That's not an argument. I'm going to take it as a compliment. I'm going to take it as a good wish on your part. But it's not an argument. It's not what I want. And don't be rude to me, Don't be rude. I'm rude to you because you're rude to me, That's the thing. I know I'm rude to you, Don. I know that. But I'm rude to you because you're rude to me. In my light, you're being rude to me. Yeah, that's why I'm responding to you in this direct way. I will respond in whatever way you respond to me. If you're nice to me, I'll be nice back. And that doesn't mean nice in your lights. That means nice in my lights. Okay. And to be nice to me, you have to argue coherently, you have to respect my views, not just wait until I change them. Yeah. Talk to me about something interesting.